So we're reconvening the Finance Committee, and we're reviewing the latest draft version.
So operating budget should be underlined like all the others or not underlined? I mean, we should just be consistent. First 3 pages don't have underline.
Yeah, right.
And
So
then
that first
underlining
expenditure
picks up on
should
page
get taken
6
out.
Oh, okay, when we get there.
and
Okay.
goes to the rest.
Yeah, agree, I'll underline and not italicized, right?
They all were underlined and italicized
Okay.
and bolded.
Is that okay with you, Sheila? Underline,
Yeah, that's fine.
italicized, and bolded?
We just need to be consistent.
So the spaces and stuff is just what came out in the print?
I think
Yeah,
it's coming from Isaiah to words like.
Yeah.
So Ross, we still need that paragraph under operating budget that deals with, I guess that's the one that deals with pages 18 through 21. It's on page 2.
Oh. Okay. Where are we, under operating budget? Oh, yeah, new paragraph, okay. That was the one where we have the table with the staffing and the,
That's not the 6-page document?
that is the 6, you're right. I thought we did language for that. I thought I said, no. Where's my,
well, on page 7 to here, there's a T, is that T, I think that T is supposed to be, not there, I guess. That's a code section, 6.16.010B. Oh, not a mic, sorry. The T, page 7, first paragraph, and the T doesn't need to be there before 6.16.
Page 7, you said?
Yeah, yes.
And where?
Down to first paragraph, but the third line from the NT 6.16.010. I'm just saying delete the T.
First paragraph, second or third paragraph?
First paragraph,
paragraph.
second to
It's at
last
the end of the-
sentence.
Oh, okay. So it's just 6.16
Yeah.
point. Jeez, it's not gonna let me take out that one. Yeah, we go.
okay, where's that?
On page 6, the second paragraph at the bottom, it says see the list below. What list are you guys referencing?
That's an that should be appendix with the list of public works projects.
The DPW list.
So we're removing that from, so that needs to be its own,
That should be a separate an appendix.
so we need to remove it from 10 through whatever.
Mhm. Should I cut it out and, so you can, and create a separate document for that?
What's that?
The DPW projects. That's
That's-
gonna be an appendix,
That's an
right?
appendix, yes.
Right.
Page 10.
Okay, so when you're ready, I have that paragraph.
Wait a minute, I'm making this separate document.
Can I change, I'll give this to, can I change this? We're not, it's not a study, no more studies. We're actually putting an RFP out
Okay.
for David Jarrell.
Okay?
Okay, so,
Oh, shit. All right, where was I?
Okay. Ross, did you write something?
Yep, I did. So you ready?
Okay, but tell
This
me
is
where
going
it's
on
going.
page 2, where it says new paragraph.
Okay.
yeah.
So the council should be aware,
Okay, wait a minute, we're finding the location. It's under operating budget. Okay. Okay,
council should be aware that several major tables of the budget book have been changed. There are new tables for page 18, proposed fiscal 2020. Where did the rest of it go? Totals by fund.
proposed totals by fund?
Proposed fiscal 2020 capital T totals by capital F fund, along with
What?
two supplemental pages. So it's the title of Where's the attachment?
Which,
I'm looking
Okay,
for
read it to me and I'll
attachment.
type it just as you did. There are new tables for page 20, for page 18, proposed fiscal,
this,
And the title of the table is proposed, fiscal 2020 proposed totals by fund.
fiscal proposed,
Fiscal 2020 proposed totals by funds.
fiscal 2020, proposed totals by fund,
comma, with 2 supplemental pages, with 2 additional supplemental pages, semicolon,
semicolon or colon?
I think semicolon, we're separating, you're the English teacher.
I need to
I'm
see where
saying
the rest of
semicolon,
it, if it's an
page
independent clause, it's
19.
semicolon.
he's listing the
Page
pages.
19, total revenues by fund, all
19.
caps. Semicolon, page 20.
Okay, wait a minute. Revenue by fund,
Punctuation, page 20, total expenditures by fund,
Expenditure totals by fund.
expenditure totals by fund, right?
I don't think that's, go ahead. After, with 2 supplemental pages, page 19, total revenue by fund,
Right. Page 20, total expenditures by fund, semicolon, and page 21, fund balance summary. Parens,
and page 21, tell me.
fund balance summary. Parens, see appendix number 1. Close paren, period.
All right, so that takes care of attachment A.
Right?
So I can take out other
What
paragraph.
page did you have that edit?
Oh, for
On the
the,
garage?
Okay,
page 9,
Okay, let's,
yeah.
page 6, we have C list below.
we've taken that out and
Right.
added C appendix,
And what's appendix?
whatever number.
Do you have the number?
What is it?
Whatever the Department of Public
Yeah,
Works.
let's double
one
check,
is.
page 7, is that appendix 3? Just make sure we're referring, what's appendix 3? Is that the right one?
We weren't going to do an appendix for that, right? Because I explained it all in the text.
Mm-hmm.
So that appendix 3 goes away.
What's the number of the
You could just
appendix
say
for Public
refer
Works?
back to 1. It
I
shows
I
it.
don't,
I don't know, because
Do you want to replace it with 1? It shows it
Okay.
in 1.
okay,
Okay.
yeah, see appendix 1, number 1.
Did you get that? Page
Which
7?
Well,
one?
wait a minute, yeah, let's slow down, Sheila. So, you were asking what the appendices number was for Public Works. I don't know.
It should be 2 if these are in order. The first one is the one, the paragraph you just wrote, which has pages 18, 19, 20, and 21.
Right.
That's 1. And then the next one appears on page
6?
6, which is DPW list. So I would
Okay.
assume that would be
Appendix 2?
number 2.
Okay. On page 7, middle paragraph, sentence beginning similarly,
Yeah, okay.
drop that first expenditure. Similarly for projected expenditures, or similarly, projected expenditures are,
Similarly,
Yeah, delete 4 expenditures.
projected expenditures.
are 139.8 and 144.9. Growth rate of
Are we
3.6%.
taking out proposed expenditures? Similarly, projected expenditures are 1.398 and proposed expenditures of 144.9 million.
Yeah, so do you
growth.
think we need to drop in fiscal 19 and fiscal 20 for these two?
I don't, because you've stated them up
Okay.
above in the
Yeah,
previous
all right.
sentence.
Okay. And then we don't have a table now, we're not going to do
Okay,
that.
so we take out the C appendix table.
See appendix table 2. But Ellie, you were saying we
Well,
might
you
want to
already
reference them back to
Well, you
appendix
referred,
number 1?
oh, well, you refer them to pages 19 and 20 in the beginning of the paragraph.
Right,
You could either delete it or replace it with number 1. It's up to you.
yeah, so see appendix number 1,
Sure, that's where all the tables are,
So
right?
where does that,
down at the very end of the paragraph.
right now it says C appendix
It's
number
table
3.
two.
Yeah, so we're just directing them back to appendix
Wow.
number 1.
Well, in the middle of the paragraph, it has C appendix table 2.
Yeah, but we're dropping,
just
we're
took that
taking that
out.
up. Thank you.
Oh, I
though.
had it at the end. I
There's
thought-
2 of them.
Yeah.
One's table 2, which we've deleted, and now we're changing the C appendix 3 at the end to C appendix 1. Right?
Correct. All right,
Okay.
then we're going to fix capital budget to look like the other headings, whatever that might be, on
Done.
page 8,
Yeah, I did that already.
okay? And then, is this, the Public Works stuff is going to go be appendix 2? So we're
Mhm.
moving it out of here?
Mhm.
It's on
It's
page
done.
10, 11, 12, and
Oh, wait,
13.
let's go back. Because that ratio policy says C appendix 4, so that becomes 3, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
You know, we need a list.
I was
of
just thinking the same thing.
Like a content.
so we, yeah, table of
Of
contents.
appendices.
Appendix list, yeah.
Yeah.
And are we saying just appendix 4, or are we saying number 4? Because some of them we use pound sign.
I used the number, the pound sign.
Okay.
And 4 is the,
I use that, that's what I've been using consistently,
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So
Yeah, that's
on page 11, that needs to be pound sign 4, and that's the Davenport stuff.
4
right?
is the Davenport, right, okay.
Well, it
No,
says
it's
4,
not.
it's 3, isn't it?
It's 3, and it's
Oh,
on
it's 3
page
now.
9.
Yeah,
What is on 11?
Oh,
I
wait a
didn't
minute,
hear
page-
anything 11.
Well, it just said page 11.
Oh, okay. But it's 3.
Page 9, and it should be 3,
Mhm.
which is Davenport.
So,
Okay.
Okay. Fund the debt ratio policies, you're saying on page 9?
Mm-hmm.
So what is this on? We're asking about. So on page 14, community grants, that's a new appendices, right?
Wait a minute. Okay, so you moved on, everything else is, this is all gone.
Yeah.
Taylor, should I
Okay.
start a list, appendix
Yeah.
list?
Yeah.
Let me get a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Piece of paper. Does anyone have a
Or
blank
just
piece
write
of
on the
paper?
back of something. We got
I know, I'm
enough
trying to
scratch
find a
paper.
back. Do you have something there? Just anything?
Just take one of the old drafts.
I know, but they're double-sided. Oh, wait.
Here,
Okay, got it.
it's
Here you
the
go.
same, that's, no,
Now, you had notes on that.
oh, okay.
That appendix number is incorrect somehow.
Which
On-
one?
On 5?
Staff summary?
Appendix 4, community grants.
Oh, okay.
So is
So
that now
community
appendix
grants
5?
is-
No,
She said that's
4.
4.
Davenport is 3. The next one that comes up is community grants, which is 4.
Okay, good.
I don't know
Okay,
how,
wait a
but
minute.
that one's right.
I'll make sure I didn't change it. Fees and fines, community grants. So prior to, okay, I don't have, where is that?
14.
Um,
It would have been after the list
Community
of,
grants, it's 4,
Mhm.
okay. I didn't have the
the towns.
pound sign. Okay, so after that, fees and fines and fees.
Is Appendix 5, right? On page 17?
Um,
So shouldn't we have, say
Yeah, I
back,
think that was just listed.
so where should that
It
go?
should,
well, we should,
Oh, it says it on the top of page 17.
right.
yeah, but shouldn't that be showing up under someplace earlier, like this year, current review, fees were blah, blah, obsolete? Shouldn't we say on page 15, at the end of that second paragraph, Appendix 5?
Okay, so you're talking about before the bulleted items.
Correct.
Okay.
Because that's where Ellie's talking
Oh, and
about, they were
I'm tapping on my paper copy like it's coming.
revised.
I'm tapping here, it's not going anywhere. Okay, so these.
And then fines on page 16, at the very end of fines, we should say, see Appendix 6, right?
So what's going to be Appendix 5?
5 is fees.
Fees. And then after, on page 16, you're saying after the paragraph on fines, then it'll say see Appendix 6?
Right.
And where was 5 going?
Page 16,
Oh, 5 was going on page 15,
right.
at the end of the second paragraph, before the beginning of the bullets, the
So,
dots.
and then in budget? The
Yes,
paragraph-
correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Then we have legislation.
Okay, and
We
that
have,
first one should not be bold.
all right, so now we're to the,
I bolded all of those.
so we've got parking lot
Oh, okay,
and legislation twice. We have it on page 20.
okay.
That
Page-
21 is scrap. You know, get rid of page 21.
Well, except that I think that should come after our conclusion, don't you? Or not?
I don't know. That was my thought process at first, which is why you have a 21, but then I moved it
Mm-hmm.
to before the conclusion.
Mox Nix. Um,
Can you take that space
And
out?
Jody,
Got it.
did you,
got it.
do you have a copy of this, page 20?
Taking it out, I don't know what.
In the conclusion section, you checked to make sure that these numbers, 'cause I don't think that's what I was getting, but now I can't find where I was doing it, so may not be important, but you're sure that's right.
Okay, I'm not seeing, oh, parking lot is not on. You added parking lot issues.
I
is that-
did, so it's not on the one
It's
that you
not on
had.
here.
Right.
And I would think they would come after the conclusion anyway, though.
That's what we were trying
Yeah,
to
we're just
decide.
talking about.
Okay. Okay, so I will
So that's
type,
why you have a 21, because I did put them there after, and then I didn't know, so I put them before.
okay, and under legislation, should that be pending legislation? Or
It
this
says
is a note to
legislation.
us?
Yes,
so-
no,
Oh, I changed
legislation,
it over there. I'm
could be
sorry.
legislation to be considered.
Okay. So it is here, it's just.
Yeah, I
not
did it twice.
Here,
Mhm.
okay. So I should type it in here. Or do you not need to do that? You'll take care of it.
Yeah, I
Now,
can
what's
take care,
happened
I
to
just
the
need to
thing you
know
sent
where you
me
guys
an
wanted to
email?
go.
I would
morning
put your
or
parking lot
yesterday.
issues
That one
after
thing?
Yeah.
the conclusion.
Okay.
Okay.
Kidding me? I put it in my
I
email
guess.
to my constituents, and she's read it, and, yeah, but that's the last paragraph
Okay.
of it.
I'm not-
DPW status.
All right.
Under parking lot issues, what we're talking about, whether it should go before the conclusion or after the conclusion. I was thinking after the conclusion because they're not
Really part of the
related
budget.
to what we are concluding.
Right, so I think
It
this
takes
should
us-
be introduced as Finance Committee parking lot issues. And Finance Committee legislative suggestions or something like that, legislative considerations.
Yeah, or just finance committee legislation,
Yeah, okay.
you know. But the question is where they are moved to. I don't think that should be part of the conclusion because we don't have any of this stuff in there.
Right.
So I would
So
think
I
there'd
would
be a
say after.
conclusion and move it all down.
Right,
This,
which is here.
right, but it's not, you know where it's going, right? It's going at the end, not before.
She already has
Right,
it.
that is,
Yeah.
this is the end, but
Right.
I didn't know where you guys wanted it, so I put it at the end and then I put it over
Okay,
to-
because
All right.
it's on here, okay.
All right.
Right,
This is-
so I would just go
Okay.
and delete that part.
This is a test. Are there 6 appendices?
Yes,
Yes.
there are.
Yay, okay,
Yeah.
here's the list.
Okay.
Want me to review it, or, I think that's, yeah,
See if it matches Takia's
Should-
record.
spelled out one a little.
See, you could type those into your iPad and just send it to her, and then she doesn't have to,
You want me to do that? Want me to
then
pull
she
it
doesn't
in?
have to retype it all. Anyway,
Whatever's easiest, Takia, let me know. I can be excused and put it,
Are we putting replacement P or are we putting replacement page?
page, that's a page.
I know,
replacement
but I
page.
wanted,
she wants to
I
know
want
whether
to know,
write
am
it
I
out
spelling it
or
out?
initial.
Or am I leaving it as P dash, dot 19?
You can put page. It's
Okay.
easier for you, yeah.
Okay, under parking lot issues, Department of Community Services, including housing. Do we want to say the creation of? 'Cause
Well,
that
that's what
doesn't
we were
mean-
talking about.
Yeah, because this doesn't mean much.
Okay. So the next one should be accounting for
Creating a-
for open space. Oh, wait a minute, this is county open space plans.
So we
So
want to
that's not
create an
talking-
open space plan, right? We don't.
Well, wasn't this, we were asking how much money we had in the open space for the city?
And I believe that was passed, wasn't that distributed at one time during one of our sessions? How much
Is this a-
open
is this a
program?
quiz?
Well, I don't think, I might not have been here when it was done, but I remember the other day when this question came up, I believe the city manager said that had already been distributed.
I don't
Or
recall.
discussed,
I don't know
or-
if it was distributed or if it was
Finance
discussed.
committee? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's available, I know
This
that.
year versus next
What,
year.
what we have allotted to us and what we're
Yeah,
planning to use it for.
this fiscal year 2020.
I-
Let me see if I can find out where that is and,
Okay, I guess my question is, parking lot in my frame of reference is things that need further discussion,
Right.
analysis, and review.
Right.
Do we have an open space plan is what I see this to be,
Yeah.
which would include, of
That's
course,
true.
how much.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not
We
county,
get.
it's city open space plan.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the
And
county is
how
concerned,
much?
it's simply a matter of how much,
The county is holding our money.
right.
But this came up when we were talking about the crab.
It will come up tonight, probably,
Yeah.
or it's on first reader.
So what we're really having on the parking lot is the city developing an open space plan.
So development
Yeah, creation of,
or creation of.
yeah,
Hey, guys,
city
is this where we
open
should
space
put-
plan.
Should we put in the parking lot this whole discussion about how we're gonna do the budget review next
It
year?
is.
Okay, so it doesn't, it's not in recommendations.
Schedule showing the
Okay.
training of each department,
Well, it is.
pay-go from general fund.
So that should be, I think what that should be is a discussion of PAYGO policy,
I think you're right.
because we had decided to go with PAYGO, now we're deciding not to go with PAYGO, so we need to come back and re-examine that.
Okay, so simply PAYGO policy?
Yeah,
So is the
Okay.
parking lot our recommendations?
it's
Yeah.
things that the finance committee is,
Okay, there's a difference?
the committee puts
Okay.
these things on parking lots for consideration by the finance committee after the budget is over.
Gotcha, gotcha.
This
So
is
these are-
work for the finance committee
Okay.
in the year prior to the next creation of the budget.
Right.
That's what we always say. We always come up with a list of stuff we're
Yeah.
gonna do, and then we don't do it.
Should we say that?
Yes, yeah, we should.
Maybe we should add for the finance committee.
And then when we got into that whole discussion of training as a perk
Right.
and a thing, so we need
Evaluation of
to,
training
yeah,
policy or,
and amounts. I mean, I have a feeling that most departments have a very small training budget.
you know that for a fact, because we cut their budgets at many times.
Usually when we
Mhm.
are looking for reductions, that's what we whack.
So,
But that is more than just training, because this is a valuing of the staff and a good morale kind of thing when people get to go on training. I know it was for me when I was working.
so what do you want to say? Evaluation of training program, opportunities?
Training policies and programs, training budget.
Yeah, review, its budget should be in that. Review
Training budget.
Review training budget in each department.
Okay.
And then equipment replacement for Parks and Recs,
Oh, yeah, they never came back to us on
Did you get that, Kid? Review of training budget in each department, okay. And then, we
the
said that we
equipment
wanted to come
replacement
up with a...
policy for Parks and
Right,
Recs.
equipment replacement policy. For Recs and Parks.
Well, does that mean whether it comes out of capital or not? Is that what?
No, just really,
It's a
because it's always
plan.
catch
Okay.
can.
Mhm.
They come limping in saying half of our equipment isn't working, can we have some money?
Okay. So those
And then-
are our 5 parking lot, those are the only 5 things we have for the parking lot?
Well, where does recommendations for next year's budget process fall?
So what is that? I mean,
That we,
what do you
we
think?
get the budget earlier, that we have it as a meeting of the committee as a whole, or whatever we decide. I mean, we've talked about it a couple different ways, and we freak Jody out every time we talk about
Yeah.
making it earlier, but
Then maybe we have another category that says recommendations. Because parking lot issues have not been
Okay,
worked out.
that's,
Right.
well, that's where I had it.
But
well, so
recommendations,
let's look at what Ellie has written here. Recommendations, Finance Committee suggests that we consider starting the budget process earlier, involve the entire city council body earlier by holding work sessions dedicated to budget review. That's certainly one way to do it. Structural staff revisions involving
charter review.
charter revisions.
That's like the second bullet.
This is what we were talking about before lunch, not including, what's the
Oh,
word?
should not be included in the budget.
Right.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, this probably could be bulleted, but,
I listed 4 items that we could bullet, but I couldn't get my head around the 5th one.
all right. So 1 is changing the budget process. 2 is not
To
including
earlier.
structural, right. 3 is line items should be provided in the budget.
No,
Oh,
go back. 1 is starting the budget process earlier. 2 is involving the city council more. 3 is the
right.
structural staff revision
Okay.
should not be part. 4 is the line item budget.
right. And we still have to, because Teresa and Jody have said, what we put in the ordinance, we don't want to have line by line, but I agree with that, but I still think that the code calls for us to have a line item budget, and my hope is that OpenGov will satisfy that requirement. But, so this is really for, future
Yeah, this
considerations.
is right off the code, because it does say
Right.
the subsections.
Right.
But I just said, well, only if there's a substantial increase, we probably need to see it.
You can't send me.
5
anything,
is
can you?
cost-saving recommendations support should be
Can you
requested.
send me-
We already got those this year. Do you
Send me
think we got any cost savings?
these by email
Okay.
And we usually do.
right now.
Oh, we don't. Okay.
Well, I mean,
I didn't send it to myself.
who's gonna,
Okay.
no, nobody, I remember when Reagan
I
asked
have
us
it,
to
but
do
it's
it,
on my computer.
we all said, yeah,
Okay.
right.
All right. Well, that's hopeful thinking. But
Yeah.
then the 3-year projection you kept talking about, or 3-year.
Oh, yeah, we need to get 3-year
Is that-
projections
Okay.
so that we can,
Okay,
and
then
I
I'm
know,
not
Jody, you
okay.
said, well, it would be pretty much growth rates for everything.
Could you include these recommendations, all 3 things, if you have them? No, never mind, I have that. She sent this to us by email. So I got that already. It's the other 2 items. So I got 5 recommendations out of this.
Yeah, that's great. Should I type this appendix summary? No, she types fast.
Projections. But then there's and/or recovery plan addressing our structural deficit, you're gonna get flicked, and bond capacity should be included in an appendix to the budget. So I think that's that's a 6, right?
We don't have a structural deficit.
Well, that's discussion. We don't have a structural deficit. But what is the
It
rest of this?
says,
Bond
a
capacity?
3-year projection or recovering plan addressing our structural deficit and bond capacity.
Right, so I say 3-year projections, period.
Okay.
New thought. I don't know what you mean by recovery plan.
Oh, just to achieve more in bond capacity. I
So
kind
just
of still
about,
think we're in recovery mode when
so
we
just about
can't budge over.
plan addressing our structural deficit status, and then 7, plan discussing our bond capacity, because that's really going to be coming in big time. So I'd say there's 7.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
So, and plan on bond capacity, which is the Davenport was part of it. But when we get into discussions of the Hillman Garage,
Yeah,
that's going to be so complicated because it's also going to involve the reconciliation program.
well,
I mean, the resiliency program.
right, that's, basically, it's kind of saying, we don't have bonds to do it, and we're really hoping this resiliency bank, whatever it was financing is gonna work.
Okay, so what is the 3rd bullet?
Well, I thought 1 was starting earlier, 2 was involving the council, 3 is the reorganization discussions, not be included as a budget. 4 is line item budget.
How do you not fall asleep tonight? How do you not fall asleep tonight?
5 is preparation of budget cost-saving recommendations. 6 is 3-year projections. And 7 is planning for, or just structural deficit, and then 7 is planning for bond capacity. So we got to figure out a way so Teresa doesn't flip out.
Well, what's,
Well,
How about instead of plan addressing our structural,
what do we,
just
What's another word, Jody?
Well,
Three-year
so be a s-
projection or plan
we need a
to-
statement affirming that we're not in structural
So
deficit.
you might want to say a 3-year projection
Right,
and a
period.
plan to ensure that we maintain,
Okay,
what would they call it, structural,
plan,
Integrity.
I'm just trying to think of what the other word is besides deficit.
Um,
Surplus,
no,
Okay.
a structural surplus, meaning we are at
How about-
least paying for our, using recurring revenues to pay.
how about assessing our structural deficit status?
Call it structural deficit status. It sounds like there's a deficit to have a status for.
Okay,
I
how
would call
about
it a,
position?
yes, our structural budget position.
A 3-year plan
Yeah, structural budget
addressing,
position.
is that what you're saying?
3-year, no, the 3-year projections is its own thing. Then that's,
Well, we already get 3-year projections, so what do we?
no, we don't. We didn't get 3-year projections this year.
Okay. So that's one. Okay, so what's the next one under 3-year?
The next one
projections? I thought we
is
did.
plan assessing our structural budget position.
oh, that's good.
Our
Take those naughty
structural-
words out.
Structural what?
Right.
Say it again, Ross.
It's plan assessing our structural budget position,
You know why? Because we used it all last year,
and then
referring to it as a structural deficit.
plan-
That's-
discussing our bond capacity.
What was the second one? A plan not addressing a structural budget position.
Plan assessing.
Assessing. Okay.
And that would
Okay.
be a plan assessing our bond capacity. Okay. So there's actually 7 of them?
already sent that to you, so it wouldn't be in red.
It's okay, I can just make it.
There's 8 of them.
Wow.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
So number 1, under recommendations, start the budget process earlier. 2, involve the entire city council earlier by holding work
That's
sessions
good.
dedicated to budget
Thanks,
review.
we got there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just listening.
So are we bulleting these?
Yeah.
They're already done, I'm just
Yeah,
trying
oh,
to
good.
read them back to
He's
you.
way
Okay.
ahead of us.
Yeah, we're listening.
Start the budgeting process earlier, involve the entire city council body earlier by holding a work session, da-da-da. Structural staff revisions involving charter revisions should not be included in the budget. Parallel structures off there. Line items should be provided in the budget for substantial increases in salary and contractual services. Preparation of the budget, cost-saving
Can we say
recommendations.
instead of structural, organizational?
No, I would call it structural.
Okay. No, it's fine.
A budget status or budget.
It was good.
Right.
Whatever you said was good.
All right.
Preparation of the budget cost savings recommendations should be requested for each department. 3-year projection plan, plan assessing a structural budget position, and a plan assessing our bond capacity.
Right. Which I think are all in the works largely anyway.
Yeah.
So next year, when it's smooth sailing,
Yeah.
the finance committee only meets 3 times.
Yeah, right. So you're saying that the council should do these things, the city should do these things? What's the
I think
heading
they're
on these bulleted
recommendations,
items?
recommendations to the council. Because these are policy issues, so it would be recommendations to the council.
Recommendations for the city council.
But
Yep.
you want to say the
recommendations-
city council should, colon,
How about
start the
recommend-
budget process earlier,
Right.
involve the entire,
Recommendations from the finance committee to the city
And
council.
then just bullet them. Yeah.
I've just sent an email to you that has the POS available balances.
Oh, the open space bill, I guess we're still.
I don't know if
keeping it
it'll help
parking
keep,
lot.
if you need to discuss the items on the parking lot.
I'm on recommendations right now, so I
Right.
Yeah,
haven't.
yeah.
Don't,
I'm kinda
don't
getting it off
distract
track.
Sheila, she's on a mission.
No, we're good, we're almost home, almost there.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna change the print on all of these, right? To
Yes, I
one,
made
because
it.
it's on, well, so that's all bold. So we'll make it all bold. Okay. So that's the recommendations that come
From the finance committee.
from
to
the
council.
finance.
Right.
Okay. God, I hated that separate. You can change the margins too. So,
You won't have to, it's just because it's on your iPad.
okay. And then you sent me the parking lot and the draft legislation.
Now, do we have, I sent you this table,
I sent it back to you before we recessed.
pardon me?
I sent it back to you before we recessed.
Okay.
This is the paragraph?
Yeah.
No, we already did that one.
I'm not seeing it. I got Mitchell, Jody, Jim Wildy, security. God, what's going on?
It's 11:33.
11:33, all right.
And we said parking lot was to go, will go after the recommendations?
No, you said, you didn't say that, you just said after conclusion.
After conclusion, but the recommendations go before the conclusion, right? Yes.
No, you said they were going after.
No, the
Look,
recommendation.
you have it written here.
Let me finish. The recommendations have to go before the conclusion of this document, but these go down here. I was just starting to write notes, and then I
Okay.
decided to write them in here.
So to get, well,
Did you find it?
I found it, but this is supposed to be a part of the appendix also.
I know,
Okay, all right.
but you wanted the asterisk to say, see,
Fiscal impact of staffing changes include, yes, thank you, yes.
Man, it copied everything. Okay, so the parking lot issues. Which are also bulleted. So it'd be the creation of a Department of Social Services. You see what's happening, right?
Mhm. Well, I think Will would support it.
Creation of, no, I'm just looking at the print style. It just, for some reason it creates of a city. This is as tiny as it gets. I don't know why it's doing that. is 16.18. Okay. PAYGO policy. For the general fund. Is the PAYGO policy only, yeah, of course it is.
Well, it's really, it's for the capital, for the CIP, but it affects the general fund because whatever we do in PAYGO is competing with all the other departmental expenditures.
So just a PAYGO policy.
PAYGO policy, that works for me.
And then evaluation of training policy.
Review
Eva- Review training
of
budget.
Training
Yeah.
budget of each
Right.
department.
Okay. And then the last one, placement policy
Good, yeah,
for recreation and parks.
right.
And this should say parking lot issues, finance committee parking lot issues. You already did that.
No, I didn't know. Is that all we said we were gonna do? Just at finance committee?
You already did it.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was something else at the,
Yeah,
behind
no,
it.
we already did it. And then legislation to be drafted. And the finance
changed it
committee
to-
legislation, legislation.
No, I thought he said, that's why I changed it. Finance committee, legislative, and I couldn't remember what else he put.
I think it's legislation, because it's legislation should be drafted.
Right.
So
I
it's,
know, but before I left, I thought you guys had changed it to say finance committee, legislative, something.
We probably did.
You did it.
employee and.
We're changing it again. We don't have to be
Land swap.
consistent.
Is it the Spa Road land swap, or that's just the title, but we know that it means Spa Road redevelopment?
Right.
Parking on sidewalks, impact fees, and no truck sign on 6th Street. No truck signs on 6th Street.
Is that, I mean, is it definitely that's the way we're going to go with a no truck sign, or is it
Well,
evaluate?
we probably don't need to put that in the report. That's just between me and David Gerald.
So there's no legislation? Because
I
this
don't
is
know
under
if I-
legislation
Yeah, that's
to be
probably not-
drafted.
I hope I don't have to do legislation.
so
I hope
then-
I can just talk to,
Okay, so I'm taking it off?
yeah, take it
Yeah.
off.
What is the parking on sidewalks again?
You didn't want cars to be able to park on sidewalk.
So we were going to legislate that?
That's what you asked.
Yeah.
I want to say that's already.
Is that in the fine schedule, the parking fine schedule?
Yeah, I wanted.
You guys had a really thorough discussion about it and wanted legislation. I do remember that.
If it was early on in the process, it might have been before the fine schedule, so we should take a look at
So,
that drafted
What are
fine
we talking about
schedule
this
to see if
Yeah,
that's
this is
on
where we
there.
are.
Parking on sidewalks.
I remember us having a discussion, because I mentioned
Oh, okay,
that
so
bothers me,
we-
You
but
said it was ruining the curbs and.
Oh,
And the
well, that's what it
sidewalks,
was,
yeah.
yeah.
What was it?
Where the delivery trucks pull up onto the curbs and onto the sidewalk.
But I think that's in.
I don't know that there's any code that
Yeah, I
says,
can-
first of all, there's no code that says the delivery trucks can't just stop in the middle road, put their flashing lights on, yeah, and block traffic.
But we did have a big discussion on sidewalk revised sidewalk legislation for owner versus city responsibilities is the one that's, I'm not sure how, do you remember all that? David Jarrell said we really should look at the sidewalk legislation.
That was for new sidewalks, right?
New and maintenance.
Yeah, so, I mean, from my ward, I know they would like more than the 600K for repairs, but then we also had discussion, and I know this is important to Fred in his ward, but also I have it too, where there's no sidewalk, and kids and moms with baby carriages are just walking in the street.
Yeah, okay, yeah, 12.20 is unlawful and a misdemeanor for a driver of any vehicle to park the vehicle in such a manner that a driveway or any portion thereof is blocked. So it's already in the code.
That's a driveway.
Well, let's do it again.
Is it, what'd you say, it's driveways?
She said driveway.
Is it driveways, Ellie, or is it in general?
To park this, a driveway or any portion thereof is blocked.
Well, driveway is different than sidewalk.
All right, let's see. Any other parking?
My hands are cold in here. Can't function when my hands are cold. I know nobody cares.
Can't either.
Mine are cold, too.
No, I know.
Yours are not, yours are warm.
Say something
Mine are
called,
always warm.
there's 12.20.140B. It's on the revised fine schedule that we got over the weekend, I think. Parking on sidewalks prohibited.
It's in the code, clear as day. 12.20.140. I think we talked about bigger, the whole, like the impact fee thing, there was discussion on.
No, you guys definitely talked about parking on the sidewalk.
And we did,
Okay.
yeah.
But it's, so, but we don't need legislation because it's already in the code.
Okay, so we should take it out of the list then.
Yes, I would. Let's not rewrite. Let's
All
not
right,
write
so-
legislation for what we already have.
Mark said that we already did the GMU flood control study, so that doesn't hold up for the work session Thursday.
Wait a minute, we still on legislation?
Yeah, well, I'm just seeing this email here so the work session can be used for the walkthrough of the budget with the council writ large.
The next one, right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, where are we on legislation? How many do we have? Because I think
Three.
so we're deleting parking on sidewalks. Impact fees should be reevaluated. That was talked about with Teresa, and Rob Savage was here. Wondering why our impact fees were not going to the sidewalks. So it would involve a code change.
I thought this was legislation we were asking for that we would have for this budget. So now we're just talking legislation in general, and if so, that goes on the parking lot list.
I don't know. Employee annual reviews, so that's,
That's parking lot.
For this fiscal year or this budget?
Well, I just wrote the word mandate, and it's probably in the
No,
code already.
I mean, to your question of legislation.
I thought this was legislation we're waiting for to attach to this, our budget recommendations.
No,
Yeah, Spa Road.
that
needs-
one,
Yeah,
but when you created the list, it was not with the intention of having it
okay,
compared to.
then we should have two lists. One, legislation we need for this budget, and two, legislation for anything else.
I think we should scrap it, finish it, put it together, and get it ready.
Okay, well, but that legislation we need for this budget.
no,
The
that's.
Spa Road legislation.
Okay. I mean, because that's confused
that's
with the
true.
legislation that we,
That's part of the CIP.
that the legislation list that we,
Are you,
voted
No,
on.
if you remember,
Are
we
you-
had this discussion, if we don't do something, we approve this budget,
the land swap will go forward.
So we have drafted an amendment that will put language into 01719 that stipulates that you're approving the funding for for the maintenance facility only on the condition that they build the facility on Spa Road. That's been drafted as language to
Okay.
017, so
Okay.
it'll be in the code.
Okay,
Right.
then that's fine, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Okay.
So if we want to take these other two items out,
Yeah, let's,
We're
this,
taking out the whole category.
or the
Yeah.
whole
the
category?
whole
Yeah.
category.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have the action on budget legislation is a whole different thing, and that's
Okay,
in there.
what else? Do you want me to send you this one more time, or,
Did we redo the conclusion?
no, the conclusion is as it was.
Did
In
you- are you okay
2020,
with-
we're covering the cost of services,
okay with
increased
the conclusion?
staffing
At
levels.
this point?
But
Yeah.
you wrote it, right? That was,
No, that was Jody, Teresa
conclusion?
gave that, and Sheila caught it, and wrote it down.
Does it have any numbers in it?
Yep,
Huh?
Are we okay?
and Jody checked the numbers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll tell you what, because you guys can continue to banter back and forth. I'll just send you what this is,
Okay.
and you have problems with it, then
Actually, at
Raise
this
them
point,
later.
I
No,
would
don't
say,
think- I think we're
because
done. Yeah,
don't we have to
no.
pull all the appendices together? And
Yeah.
are we putting a cover on this? And
Did you
how much,
redo those so they can have the appendix number on the top?
Oh, I haven't.
Okay,
But I'll get them.
okay, thank you.
Should I type the appendix table contents, or are you able to do that?
are we going to have a table of
I was already
contents?
asked, are we doing that?
The appendix?
we don't have to. I mean,
Oh,
as long as we know what they are.
I can do it. Want me to do it? If that's a reason. I think it's necessary. Otherwise it's just a hodgepodge of pages and,
Okay,
But are they gonna be paid, this is why I'm asking, because are we putting them under where it says appendix number, blah,
They're at
blah,
the
blah?
end.
Or are you putting it at the end?
At the end.
It's an appendix section
yeah.
Right,
with a table of contents, and they're described exactly as they're described.
Well, if we put it at the end,
That
you've
was-
already read the document and you've already looked at all the appendices. So what's the purpose of it?
I'm just trying to be helpful.
And I'm not saying it's not helpful, I'm just trying to ask.
Well, because
We're-
otherwise I don't know if they're identified. I know that I have a hard time figuring out which one is which.
But
well,
if they're
that's
all-
because we
if
don't
they're
have
all
them.
labeled-
Yeah, we're gonna have them
They'll
all
all be
labeled.
labeled, yeah.
All right.
Should I make this 12-point print?
Can you
Yeah.
clarify that, are these all Appendix 1?
The,
Yeah, why-
18 through 21?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so would you like me to number them Appendix 1, page 1 of something, page 2 of something, page 3 of something, so that you know what order they go in?
Yeah, because that 18, 19, 20, and 21, there's 6 pages of it.
Right, right. Okay, I'll do that.
And the one Ross created, there's 2 pages to this one. I think everything else, no, David Gerald's pages
Multiple.
has multiple
She doesn't have to
pages.
do that one.
yeah.
We have that.
And I wasn't,
Davenport.
correct. That, I wasn't gonna do page numbers on that one either, that you just held up, correct? I'm just doing the numbers, page 18
There's
through
2,
21.
your document is the second page of this. His is the first page, and then your landscape chart is the second page of this one.
So are you going to add, on Davenport, are you going to add attachment, something to the
I
Davenport?
can't get on that, it's a PDF.
Right, so that's the reason why I wanted a table of contents, because I can type it and just give it to you.
How can you type
Well-
it in on a PDF?
I was going to go in there and just type it in and I can,
It
it
can't
converts
hurt.
to PDF from Word at that computer.
You can do it?
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have that capability.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, it converts from Word to say, it does a save as PDF.
Right, but can you But do you have the ability to convert from a PDF?
No.
And that's what needs to happen with the Davenport document.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't have that. No, it was, yeah, so that's why I said a table of contents, because it describes what it is, and they go back and.
You still have to have appendix number, whatever, on the actual document, though.
What font do you use?
It was in Arial.
Arial,
Mhm.
A-R-I-A-L?
Mhm.
See, I always use Times
I
Roman, so
use
mine
too.
always
But
comes in time.
I always use it too, but that's how the report was sent to me, so I thought that maybe that's the font that you guys wanted.
No, we don't have a
Yeah,
particular
we
font
need to
that
put
you
this
all care
together
about.
now.
I need to
We're
figure
done.
out
I
how we
know.
can do this
I agree.
Davenport one. I mean, writing on it. It's the only other way.
How do I do? Times Roman.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I usually use. 12 times 12.
Okay, I am sending you guys
Okay,
what Takia had. I was just taking spaces out.
I know. I just wanted to make sure. You took out the David Gerald ones, right?
The document that Public Works Facility stuff.
So we're definitely
Yeah,
going to have
that's
to
a,
have another
I think I sent
public
you
hearing
that
on
separately.
17-19, because the amendments are substantial enough.
yeah. I agree. All right, oh, there it is. There's my wonderful attachment A.
Oh, you mean prior to, before?
You talking to me?
Mhm.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Do you mean you sent it to me once before or today?
I have not sent it yet.
No, I'm talking about David Gerald's. You sent it to me before.
Oh, I sent it to you before.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so I can search for
so
that.
you should have it.
Either way, I just cut
Did you
it.
say
Okay.
V4? Bingo.
I wish it was that easy. Okay, so the conclusion hasn't changed. The recommendations from the Finance Committee to the council.
Is it Hemingway-esque, or has it stopped raining because we've finished?
The sun looked like it was coming out, and then
We've got two things that are not parallel. Structural staff revisions involved, should not be, okay, should not include.
Oh, you know what? One more thing.
come your capital budget was so easy.
We'll see. I think
Are-
that's
are
where
we
all the
still-
action
Are we still in session? Or do we?
No, I think we're getting ready to adjourn.
Number of
Should not,
people who spoke at a public hearing.
oh, okay. Should not include structural staff revisions involving charter revisions. No, should not include structural staff revisions in the budget. Without council consensus, so as not to conflict budget. Line items should be provided, should provide. Oh, come on. line items in the budget. For substantial increases in salary, contractual services, should prepare budget cost savings. Recommendations, provide a 3-year projected plan. Plan assessing should plan assessing a structural budget. Should plan assessing a structural budget position. That doesn't sound right.
What did we have?
Next to the last budget item under recommendations, plan assessing a structural budget position. Should be assess a structural budget position.
Yeah, it's probably not a plan, it's just a report assessing structural budget position and a report assessing bond capacity.
What do you mean, a report assessing? Should we just assess the structural
Okay, well,
bond
right, no.
position?
So 7, assess, yes. And then 8, assess bond capacity.
Yeah, or reassess, or,
We don't have to have the word plan.
why is that in red, you know? Okay,
Because when you're in a hurry, it decides to do those things.
okay. Obviously, that was me. Okay, but we still have a red dot, and who cares? Okay, and we only have 1 item, 2 items, 3, 4 items on the parking lot. 1, 2, 3. Can I get those on here?
Is that street parking or structured parking?
Any kind of way you want it to be. Okay, I'm sending it. Anything else?
Let me see if we can access it. Because
We
do you
just
wanna
needed to
add-
know how many people came to speak to the,
Hi. I sent you an email earlier. It was asking about, if you had a number of people who came and spoke on the budget. Okay.
I don't think we want to hold this up for that information.
Just people in her office, so she can't
Okay,
look right now.
we're not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna
probably
leave it.
registering to vote.
It says
to
several
run.
oh, that's right, we should go down and peek in there and see
Yes, we
who's in
should.
there.
Yeah.
Only one person came so far.
Who was that?
Giannis?
Yanni? Okay, all right, so I'm changing the title to Finance Committee Report to the Council. Final. I should put that in giant letters,
In red.
in red. Okay, here it comes. In Word. Okay.
I wonder what they have downstairs that I can use to package it.
We don't have any folders or anything? This should be
I'm gonna
something
check.
nice. I know we don't
I
do
know.
that kind of thing, but
I'm gonna check.
Can't we just put it in the form of a council citation?
I bet the mayor's office must have some real glossy, nice-looking folders over there we could use. I guess that's a no. Okay.
Should we close?
So whom else should I send this to? Well, before we do, we need to send this official. I'm just sending it to Jody and to Kia.
Right. Yeah, I don't need to see it.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Well, no, we need to see it.
I'm gonna go to my office and PDF them and send them to you.
Just send it to
You're
us. We'll
doing
not
the,
respond
um,
again,
The
yeah.
labels of the appendix 1.
Okay, so you're doing the appendices. Susie, did you want us?
Fees and fines too.
Oh,
Fees and fines?
we can't either.
It's one of your appendices,
Mm-hmm.
and you need me to do what?
Same thing. They're appendix 5 and 6.
Can't you just write on the top Appendix 5 or Appendix 6 and
I
be
mean,
done?
I could, but
Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, it's on there as long as it's labeled.
I have good printing. Want me
When
to
it
print
goes
I have to
online,
make sure I have the most recent one. I mean, she sent them over the weekend, I think, and,
oh, see, I didn't get that.
well, I don't know, I want to make sure that you, what I'm labeling is the correct one. So did somebody say, who's got people in their offices? Teresa? Teresa's the one who's been doing fees and fines stuff.
I think she was talking
I'm
to
talking
Regina.
They're
But,
attached-
but you have all of them. You have copies, hard copies of all of them.
But she's
Should be
saying that
what's
they're,
attached to the agenda, but-
that fees and fines were sent over the weekend?
There was, at least the fines was sent over the weekend, and some kind of red line version with it. So-
I hope nothing was changed after the
No, I don't- I
Finance
think
Committee
she was
approved.
She
trying
cleaned
to
up the
clean-
transportation one.
She was cleaning up some wording and stuff.
Okay.
I will check with her and see where she's at.
When are these things going to be copied? We're still,
are we giving out hard, yeah, I guess we
Well,
will
the
for the
email
council.
actually
We
went to
should.
Louise, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, fees and fines are on public hearing, which was already continued once, so hopefully they haven't changed, because we don't want to extend the public hearing.
well, I think
We
some
might
of
have-
them were changed because that was the red line copy we got last week.
Right.
for,
Yeah, I
fees.
can't
Fees and
imagine,
fines.
can't
Yeah,
imagine
there
it
was
we
no-
changed
didn't get
again.
anything for.
We didn't get any
Fines.
fines.
Bless you.
At some point, we've got to call this quits, or there's not going to be time to
I don't
print
know
out
if there was
anything.
any changes, I'm just saying.
Okay.
An email with something attached over the weekend or on Friday. So I'm gonna ask her to get you guys immediately. And let you have the most recent one. It's appendix what, 5 is fees and 6 is fines?
No, I think we put them together, didn't we?
No, we
No.
didn't.
No, there's
Okay.
two separate
Five
documents.
is
Okay.
fees and 6 is fines, okay.
So then, wait a minute.
Is this, why don't you just call Teresa and see if she's
Yeah,
available to answer this question quickly?
Did we change anything on fines?
Fees and fines.
Are we doing community grants?
Yeah, you have that,
5?
yes.
No, is community grants 5 or 4?
That's the agenda, I gave,
The
the
list.
table of contents.
Is it 6 or 7?
Do you need me to type something on that too?
Okay, I'm canceling this.
Yeah. Hey, we're
I
good.
spell out the budget.
See, I have community grants is 4. But then something's off on here. 1, 2, 3.
Just, we need to talk, I need to ask Teresa a question.
Appendix 4 is staffing.
Ellie has it as 2.
They're not, that's not 2.
I need to ask,
4 is staffing, for net staffing positions.
That's wrong,
No, that's wrong, yeah.
because 3 is down here as Davenport. So
I don't think it's
then
gonna
we
be.
have it wrong
They've
then.
got, they're attaching.
So,
Wait a
fees
minute,
and
no,
fines
no, no.
1,
As an appendice to the report. And I mentioned I got.
Okay, so 1 is the 4-page document,
What is the
6-page
four-page
document.
Yes, 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 I'm just following the report. Okay, so follow, well, who's got the latest version? Is that
I
there?
do, that's
have
what
it
I'm
written
reading
down,
right now.
so-
Okay, so when he talks about, no, that's,
So page 2,
this is, okay, the Department of Youth has asked for an increase in their staffing levels, blah, 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 8 positions, so I thought that was staffing. It's
What does
insert-
it, did we have
No.
appendix?
What the heck is that then?
this,
In addition
wait a
to the
minute.
one- Yeah, that was always staffing. Ross,
I had the staffing one showing up on page 6.
right,
As appendix number 2.
correct. Okay, let's go through them. 2, and then stay with me, Ross. Then
Yep.
3, 3 is let's see.
3 is Davenport.
3 is Davenport from page 9, Ross.
Looking,
This one, that's right. It's here where we start the
Okay.
conflict.
Okay, so then on page 10, we opted to delete the whole section of DPW,
Because it was gonna become its
and
own.
it was going to become an appendix, so that's 4. DPW.
Community grants is 4,
Is it?
according to this.
Okay, well, is it mentioned before here? Where do we mention community grants?
Nowhere until you get to the community grant
so the
section.
staffing one is appendix 4, and it shows up on page 8.
So where are we putting Public Works?
So it's
No,
2
wait,
and 4.
Come on, guys.
Well,
Page
look,
10.
you know what?
This is where the conflict is coming from.
Yes.
Where's the Public Works?
Since we
That's
going
a
to go?
separate one that I
Right,
sent
but where
you.
we insert.
Right.
After the discussion about public works.
Which is here, which if it's the next number, it is 4. I don't know where we talk about community grants. Oh, we do. I
Under
have it.
community
Okay,
grants.
so it's further down. Okay,
Yeah, it's further
next.
back.
Keep going. Yeah, I
It's
have it
after
next.
tax summary.
Community
Okay, so
grants
far
is
we're
on
okay.
page
Community
14.
grants.
No, I think we're okay. We're okay.
Hold on, because here's my question. If this is after we talk about Public Works, where have we talked about Public Works on here?
You know what,
It's,
next, right,
This is tax summary. Where have we talked about Public Works?
where we talk about the police
where do we
budget.
reference all of, in capital projects?
No, it's not on the
No.
capital because it's operating budget.
I'm looking.
It's under operating. It has to be under operating.
You sat down with David and got a whole list of these projects.
Right, but
To put,
that's what these are,
in-
but you're saying that this should be where we talk about Public Works. This isn't talking about Public Works.
yeah, you're good. You're-
So
Where we,
where
do
are
we
you inserting
reference?
it?
Was it
And
when
that's
we,
where the conflict is coming from.
Right, you're right.
do we have any link to it? Maybe, we don't.
Public Works is
Okay.
talked about here.
Can I send,
that's staff.
to whom
It's
can
the
I send
Department
this
of
and get a
Public
hard copy of this? Because we got all these different drafts. Let's look at the one, can I
Well, you
just,
can just get it from there.
so where can I send it to print though, so everybody has a copy, so we can look at this?
For it to line up with the appendixes.
Yeah, that's the last thing, but we need a hard copy in front of us, because yours is,
No, these are, yes, yes.
so where, can I just send this to
So,
you to make a copy of
it
it?
looks like it
It's
might,
gonna come out the same. All I need to know is where.
it's on
Public
page,
Works
it's
is
on
being
page
talked
6, page 6.
Okay, so that's not staffing?
No,
This
that's
is
a,
Public
that's
Works.
public works.
Okay.
Appendix 2 should be Public Works.
Okay.
Right,
So where
exactly.
is your staffing with the staff and the backup?
I think that's,
Okay, so we changed that. So we have staffing summary that had the backup. Where do we talk about staffing? So I thought here, because we had pick up firefighters and all this other stuff.
So then it should be here.
We want to attach them to, I guess they can write it on a PDF. Okay.
Ross, how about page 5? Page 5 at the bottom? Yeah, the Finance Committee supports the departments and the mayor's commitment to each. There are 2 departments who budgets have significant, and they bear some explanation.
see, I thought,
We're working with too many different documents.
yeah, I know, so,
Instead of coming up with one document that we can all look at and go through together.
so I think, going back to
That's
page
who I'm-
6,
Yeah. I would like
We don't really need that, first of all. We don't need a content. But we do have to make sure that,
No, I don't, I'm not talking about the.
okay, but
I
that's,
just want to make
order.
sure.
May I interrupt for
Okay.
a second so I can get you what you need, because I have to go down and meet the outside partner also. I have the fees and fine schedules completed. I just sent them as amendments to Jacqueline. What would you like from me on that?
Are there any changes from what was approved by the Finance Committee last week? Okay.
Are there
So the
any
one we
changes in fines?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Presented
So-
and approved by the finance.
Okay, so they do need to be done as attachments because the rest of the council hasn't seen them.
Right.
So what-
That's the red
so
line
what
copy.
So what was provided to Jacqueline is a red line copy and a clean copy. The clean copy is in amendment form because that's what it is. It is an amendment to the resolution. The red line copy is provided and uploaded into Granicus as support for the resolution and the amendment. So what do you want from me to give you to put with your report tonight?
I found where your positions go.
Right.
I don't know what page it is. It's the paragraph that speaks to the Department of Public Works, and then there's a paragraph right beneath it that says it should be noted in 2018-19, the department managed 22 projects. Nope, that's the wrong one.
Yeah,
That's
wrong.
the one that's where his list of projects
Right.
is. That's two. If we have the red line copy, we're good to attach. And I think Takia has that.
It's loaded.
I don't have it.
It's loaded. It's loaded. It's loaded.
It's on Granicus.
Fines is probably not loaded because I literally just hit the send button 5 minutes ago. It was copied to you, Takia. I didn't copy it to you, but I will go forward that email to you so you know the red line.
Thank you.
Can I have 2
Do you
minutes?
have the fines red line?
Go downstairs. Nobody spoke on the budget because the budget ordinance is on this public hearing tonight.
Right.
There
Okay.
wasn't speakers.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the
So
first
that needs to be taken out then, because it says there were several people who spoke on the budget.
Yeah,
Nobody
there's,
spoke on the budget.
there's
Okay.
an amendment on fines that I don't think we saw.
What is that?
I don't think it's, I'm not sure, it just says, it's Gavin's amendment on fines. Doesn't matter, just as long as that's, I'm looking at Granicus. Yeah.
Number one sponsored by Mayor Buckingham's
Well, how did it come to the Finance Committee
looks like
before
it's
without a public
already
hearing?
issued.
entire schedule.
Because
The
it
only
was
thing on it
budget.
that's changed.
And it
Okay, so this whole paragraph has got to change, because it says following,
Are certain
You remember
parking
this
fines which were
budget
presented to
ordinance
you
has the CIP
and are
and
also
the plan
attached
in
in
it.
Granite.
So it
Okay.
went to the planning commission. But you guys.
Okay.
This is just a
Finance
clean
committee.
copy?
Yes, it's just a clean copy.
All right, so
Because
when,
you don't want your,
Yeah.
if you put the red line copy in as your amendment,
yeah.
I can't
then
find
you got
where
a red
that
line copy in
staffing,
the code.
I
we
know,
talked
and
about
it's-
it.
I need a copy. 15 minutes.
Okay, so it's all there, and that's what we need in here, I guess, or do we?
There is no change to fees or fines that you did not review and approve.
Yeah, no, but,
Okay.
Zero.
Right.
And that's what we need.
but the council doesn't have it in their budget book, so we were going to include it
As
in
an-
this report.
I want to make sure you know that no one
Okay.
I cannot find where we were going to put that staffing thing.
I know, I had it wrong because that was the DPW thing. You said that I evaluated.
I mean, it looks like it could go
You sent
here
it to
on
me.
page 5,
Oh, you were, you were.
cost of second-year negotiation, the recommendation budgets.
Well, that's what I thought, there, where you.
But I
right,
don't, we had some language that we put in. Can you look at pages, Sheila?
I'm sending
what
it to you. Okay, wait a minute, let me send this to Takia.
Well, you
can go
talk,
over it.
continue to talk
and make a
about,
copy.
I would say just put it here, because you talk about the SAFER grant.
What page is that? That's
It's
6?
6, it's right before the
Okay,
DPW
you got it.
link.
Gosh, I don't know where.
You know what, we took out 2 paragraphs.
Oh, that might have done it.
The ones,
Well, that could have referenced it before.
yeah, but no, we only took out, I rewrote one, and we left the other one in.
Well, where would you want it? I was asking that.
She's going to get a hard copy so we can better see.
And I don't even want to know what this is. Am I on mic? Sorry. What is this? Federal grant.
I think it really needs to go here on page 5. The mayor's budget includes the cost of second-year
That's
negotiated
exactly where I
agreements.
am.
Right. And I thought we had written some language saying, see, a full explanation of the staffing changes and the financial impact of those changes in attachment, whatever it is.
Okay, so we can remedy this, and if it's duplicated, so what?
Yeah. At this point,
Now, repeat what you just said.
Yeah, repeat
so
The budget,
see a full explanation of the staffing changes and their financial implications in appendix, whatever this is, which I think will be appendix 2, yes. It will be appendix 2, and then the one with the David Gerald stuff becomes appendix 3.
okay, so this goes before David Gerald
Yes.
stuff?
Yes.
I
Right.
don't think so. Because we have fire, then we have public works, then 3 in my mind would be the summary
So
of
it go-
all departments.
So
which is-
it's coming right here where we're talking about the evergreen?
Yeah, but the Evergreen introduces 2 departments. These 2 departments whose budgets are.
Somewhere we need to
The
insert.
mayor's budget includes the cost of second year of negotiations with the unions. The budget also includes recommendations from the Evergreen and HR recommendations. Then it says the committee supports the mayor.
But see,
There are
I'm
2
saying,
departments.
add a sentence here. For a full display of the staffing changes and the financial impacts, see Appendix 2.
We have to add that, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm not going to belabor it. That'll work.
Did you just add that, Sheila?
I did.
Okay. Oh, you mean the order? Yeah, it just,
So that's Appendix 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Appendix 3 is David Gerald's
Right.
list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 4 is what?
Just had it.
I want to say 4 then would be Davenport, right?
Okay, Davenport would be 4.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so we're caught up with. Okay, that's page 9. Okay. Davenport, right. Okay, so then
Where is it showing up on page 9?
debt ratio policies.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Right?
And we continue. Yeah, so this
So
whole
this-
DPW thing is
So that
gone.
means 5 would be community grant.
Right?
Yes, as noted on page
And-
14, yes. See appendix 5.
Okay. See Appendix 5 under community grants. And then fees and fines
So 6
That would be.
would be,
is
Six.
fees,
6 is fees.
6
and
is
that's on
fees.
page 15. We were going to
Wait a
put it
minute.
right above Ellie's bullets.
6
Revised
is,
schedule
6
is
is
included in the
fees.
budget.
and 7 is fines, or is it reversed?
6 is fees.
Fees is first.
Yep.
And
So
Fines
this
seven
is
is
appendix
fines.
6. And then
Oh, okay. Okay.
fines is appendix 7, and that should show up on page 16, where it says a fiscal analysis of the impact of revenue stream was included. And then you just say, see appendix 7.
And then delete these 2
Right.
lines here. I guess there's no
Then
need
it
to
goes
put
into
that.
legislation.
Are you
Right.
putting them in, Sheila? Okay.
I've already done that.
Okay,
Okay.
in legislation. And to your point, it looks like that's unfavorable. And then what did you do on environment? No action taken.
Right.
And you said Teresa wrote this, right, the conclusion?
Yeah, remember she was dictating that. She was doing the calculations at the table,
You may want to check.
Which conclusion are you talking about?
the conclusion of our report.
She didn't write this conclusion.
She dictated the number, you were writing it, but she was sitting there calculating it.
She may have, but I wrote that,
Yeah.
not here. I wrote that separately.
Oh,
But anyway, it doesn't matter. Is there something you disagree with?
no.
Is there something that needs
No,
to change?
no,
Okay, so
no.
we're good with
Yeah, we're
it?
good.
Okay, I just want to be sure. Okay, well, I think we have, wait till Takia comes back, and then, well, we can't do anything anyway till she comes back. We just needed you to leave the room so we could work it out.
I hate to be a stickler, but these numbers changed today, so who wrote this? Because the numbers changed.
I thought Jody confirmed those numbers.
Let's make sure.
If those numbers changed, it's because Jody gave us numbers today.
Yeah, let's check
Did
that,
she,
because we're
did
showing
she
numbers that
give it
might
to
not
us
be.
by email or hard
She
copy
said
or
she
what?
confirmed Teresa's numbers.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
she did.
she didn't give us any
She
new
didn't give us
numbers.
any-
Okay, if she comes,
Jesus, this get thin.
Okay, so
Holy
here's the
moly.
new list.
So we need to tell,
One is the 6 pages, 2 is the staffing, that's Ross's, this is 2.
Okay, well, where is it going? I need to know where it's going.
What do you mean you need to know? You have to go back through here and see, we went through here. But that's the second appendix.
so it's going on page, well, what was page 5?
The pages are reconfigured.
Yeah, I
Usually,
see that.
the new one now.
Is this the newest one?
This is the newest one with as many of the changes. Appendix 2 is on page 4.
yeah, we have to revise the numbers on this one. Looks good.
Not the page numbers, though. It did it itself, I mean, automatically.
Yeah, let's go through the appendix reference one more time.
You see it?
Up here,
On page 4?
page 4, up
Yeah.
at the top. Okay.
And then DPW's list is on, no, DPW's is over there also.
Yeah, it should be coming right after. Where is that?
Oh, you know what, this, we added that sentence after she left the room.
Oh, okay. So we need to get, that's on old page 5. Starts, the mayor's budget includes the cost of the second year. At the end of that paragraph, for a full display of staffing changes and the financial impact of those changes, see Appendix 2.
Okay, something's wrong. The paragraph on DPW. It should be noted that the department managed 22 projects. And that becomes number 3. That's correct.
And where is that?
On page 4 of the new document.
We gotta get,
But
So
you
that
said
becomes,
that's 2, which is staffing.
okay, where did we put the staffing?
on page 3. The mayor's budget includes the cost of the second year negotiation, Evergreen Solutions. It
Oh, that's what's not, okay.
Right there, yeah.
should, I don't know, what do we say?
For full
For-
listing of
right, for-
staffing changes, see Appendix 2. And it
And, well,
goes,
staffing changes and financial impact.
okay.
I said for full display of staffing changes. And
So where is that? Is that a new
I'm
sentence?
right
It's on
here.
page
It's a
3.
new sentence,
Okay.
yeah.
And so staffing is gonna be 2.
yes,
So then what's on page 4 needs to be changed to 3.
Yes.
Okay.
And it is on the computer, but not. So 4 becomes 3. Yeah, I'm writing this. You want to just switch pages? Did you have something else on the back of that?
Just where the,
Yeah, okay. So page 4, I've already changed that to 3. Okay, so where is, debt's ratio is 4,
that's now 4.
page 5.
On page 5,
Yeah, but
that's
it's
now number
4.
4. Okay,
And then community grants on page 6 is 5.
there she,
thank you. Where it has this year concurrent, it says see appendix 5. So what
For
was that
what?
gonna be? At the bottom of page 6?
bottom of page 6, see appendix 6 for the fees.
Mine has,
Wait a minute, so fines is number
okay, so this is
6.
No, fees is 6, fines is 7.
Okay, so
Fines
where's
show up on,
fees?
fees is on about page 6 at the bottoms, where it says see appendix 5, that should be appendix 6.
5. Then what's 5?
5
Community
is
grants.
the community grants.
No,
That's
no,
fines
no,
is
no,
on
no.
page 7.
Community grants are 4.
No,
Nope,
you don't. We
nope.
have it as 5.
The debt ratio is 4.
Okay, you're right. 5 is grants.
Yep.
6,
Is
6
fees,
Fees, so you
and 7 is
correct-
fines.
You correct the,
And 7 is 5.
okay, so you know what? I guess part of the confusion, we don't have a major heading for fees, but we have one for fines.
Oh,
Yeah. You have establishment
oh,
of
okay, you can
fees
just
and
put a
fines.
heading
So we
under
need
here, say
fees
fees.
here.
Yeah.
Where it
concurrent.
says before
Fees.
this year.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And
Okay.
then, you're gonna change the reference, where the heck do I say it?
the reference for fees
The
is,
appendix, yeah, where it says the
Appendix
appendix
6.
6, yeah.
and then appendix 7 for fines. Conclusions and financial,
This,
yeah,
yeah, this makes it
Yeah,
all.
10 pages.
This- You know, when you read the
Okay.
conclusion, it makes it all seem like we went through this for nothing. It's-
And you have 7? No, fines is 7.
fines, yeah.
Okay. And I think it's all correct in here, Takia, but I'll send it to you and you can
Okay.
scrub it again. But I think that's it.
So Takia, you have everything you need to do the appendices?
Jody's gonna send me something.
Teresa just sent us some,
So out of the things that Teresa sent, do you want both of these? Amendment number 1, fee schedule and fee schedule, red line. Do you want both of those?
just the red line.
Just the red line one? Okay.
They already have the other.
That one, no. So out of everything she sent, I just need that. Okay.
But we still don't have legislation. She said Jacqueline just sent legislation. Which piece of legislation? Because you know my
That's not for
concern.
us. That's not for budget.
Well, no,
Oh,
we
you
should
mean
have
you just-
amendment that deals with Spa Road.
Oh, no, that's not what she was talking about. These things that she sent have nothing to do with Spa Road.
So
You're talking
where's,
about Jody. Jody's prepared an amendment to put in the ordinance 017. it, 017 already exists.
Right.
So she's preparing an amendment to put in 017.
Okay, so it's not ready, we can't see it before.
That part I don't know. I don't know if they're just gonna bring it to tonight's meeting or, but I haven't
Okay,
seen it.
well, if it's not right, we'll do it
Okay.
again.
So are you going to send us this?
I'll send you one more time. Okay. Should I send Fred a copy?
Yeah.
I was going to send it to Alderwoman Takia Green.
No.
Come on, you can have fun too.
Okay, so I've sent it to Takia and Jody, that's it? This is the final.
I just sent a text to Teresa and just wherever, if she could just check this conclusion since she wrote it.
Okay.
Are you
This
able
is
to go and do
fees.
that?
But it's not redlined.
She left it here on her desk, but I've been finding
The amendment is the clean version and there's a red line before that.
Reset the password. She never did it.
Oh, there's the red line. That's red lines for fees.
You know, if this is a late meeting, we're going to be in trouble.
I don't think it's going to be late. Well, I don't know. Who knows whether... I can tell you from an email I just received, Kardash isn't coming.
Does that mean it's going to cut down on some of the time?
Well, I mean, if he's not, I don't wonder how many other people are glued in.
How's he doing?
No,
Not
it's
well.
in our office. Yeah.
He's out of commission.
Anybody heard from Rhonda?
She was here today.
Rhonda was?
Yeah, she emailed me and said she was here around 11. She couldn't get on her iPad. She didn't reset her password.
So she'll be here tonight?
First time I heard from her. I have no idea.
Okay, Jody just sent an appendix 1. Here are the page 1, appendix 1 pages. Let me know what else you need.
Those are revised sheets that keeps you to.
Yeah, those are the 6 pages for Appendix 1.
Mm-hmm.
For Davenport, am I just writing on it? Did we
Yeah.
decide?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have the hard copies of both of these? I mean, the
She has electronic.
electronic copies of both of those?
No. Oh, did you send this one with it as well?
I sent the top one. I didn't have that.
See, I
Jody
don't-
said the bottom
Jody
one.
has this one.
I can't imagine she didn't send that to us also.
I mean, I can make a copy of it.
Yeah.
She
But
didn't
you're gonna
send it
download?
electronically. I mean,
She just gave it to-
electronically, they're the creators.
Oh, my
So the copies that I have, it'll just be a PDF, which is
Okay.
fine.
All right, so what else? Can we throw all this away?
All of the earlier stuff, yeah, I think so.
The grant sheets were all
Okay.
revised.
Are they?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, she called them replacement pages. Replacement page 20. Did you get that? She gave it. I don't know what you did.
Okay, so just keeping, Takia, I'm counting on you having any other notes that are, because I'm throwing it all away.
I have.
I'm gonna be Josh. This is Joshua. Joshua, throw everything away. Do we need this? Do you have this in electronic form?
No, but we put it in text, so.
Oh, okay. And these are mine. So we don't need this. See, here's the conclusion that I wrote. I know you don't think I wrote it.
No, I knew you did.
Here it is in my handwriting
I
right
watched you
here.
write it 'cause
Somebody was dictating, right? Either,
Lucy was doing the calculations over at the table and you were writing it down.
yeah.
Well, we don't have to take our budget stuff away. We can just move it to our seat.
Really?
Are we gonna adjourn?
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
Yeah.
Ayes have it.
Mr. Khan, thank you for bringing this to our attention. I agree that a week's notice makes it difficult. This is from Steve Khan. Robert.
All right, everybody bring their
You know,
chargers
I'm
to